Welcome to Nerd on Nerd with me, Jack Kempster.
And me, Liam Underwood. And in this episode, we're talking about the first 3 episodes of Ozark. But that's going to be a little bit later on, because first, it's time for catching up with Jack and Liam. So, Jack.
Yep.
Catch me up.
I had a fancy dinner party, Liam.
Oh, so what did that entail?
We all dressed up in suits.
Yeah.
And then went and had a fancy dinner.
Okay.
At someone's house. Not fancy, not a fancy restaurant.
Right. But did they serve, like, fancy food?
Well, they served, yeah. I mean, define fancy food, mate. I lived in a, flat for 2 years eating microwave meals and pizzas, so to me, anything's fancy. You put it in an oven and I'm amazed.
No, but here's the thing. You say that, like, oh, poor Jack. That was
No,
entirely your
that's
own
not poor
choice.
Jack. Are you kidding me? That was the best time of my life.
Right. Okay. Define fancy. Like, I don't know, like, let's say, did you have a starter?
Yes.
Was it, like, calamari or something?
No.
I don't even know if calamari's, like, fancy. Is oyster? Is that fancy?
Oysters would be fancy. It wasn't oyster. It was a Spanish cuisine,
Yeah.
Liam. Mm-hmm. I can't remember the name, but it was...
Brilliant.
Yep. It was garlic bread with cheese.
Okay. So
It might not have been garlic bread. I'm thinking about it. Frankie's going to be very angry at me because she spent a lot of time making this meal for everyone.
but does she listen to the podcast?
Tom does.
Yeah, but does she?
He might show it to her just so that I get in her bad books.
Okay, I'm fine with. Let's carry on then. Let's dig you the deepest hole we possibly
Well,
can.
I mean, so I'm already in a big hole, Liam, because I did agree to be Frankie's sous chef.
Oh, never have you. Honestly, do you remember that time we had the Christmas meal and that I was cooking for like 6 people and you kind of promised the same thing for me and then you just fucked off?
Yeah, Frankie probably wishes that she had spoken to you before this.
Yeah, she really should have, because I'd have said, you can't trust him because he'll leave you high and dry.
I mean, the thing is, I did offer a few times to help, and Frankie said she didn't need me at that point, and I said, well, when you do, just shout me, because I'll help.
And then what happened?
She didn't shout for me, and then I felt bad.
Well, I guess that's kind of her fault.
It's better than what I did to you.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that was a definite, I'll help you in the kitchen, and then I started drinking and didn't want to help you in the kitchen, because it's boring.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm well aware, Jack.
But yeah, fancy meal, Liam. So we had
I have another
wine.
question about the fanciness, sorry, just to...
Yep.
Another, like, sign of a fancy meal is if you have, like, cutlery that gradually gets bigger. So if you have, like, 3 forks of different sizes.
2 forks. No, wait. Did we have 2 forks? Maybe not. We might have only had 1 fork and 1 knife. But it was, set out on a table with a tablecloth.
Oh, that's the sign of fancy.
Exactly. I will admit that we did leave the TV on through dinner, because...
That's less fancy. Candles?
That was less fancy. Also, the PS4 controller we were using to control the TV that was in the middle of the table did also detract from the fancy.
Yeah. Were there candles?
No. You don't need candles to be fancy.
You don't, but I'm guessing there wasn't, like, a chandelier.
Oh, no, yeah, I didn't get them to install a chandelier for the fancy dinner.
So candles would have been a nice substitute.
Well, you can critique Tom and Frankie then, because that's...
my only critique is where was my invitation?
Well, you wouldn't have driven from Portsmouth to Woking.
I might have.
For a fancy meal.
I need to go to Woking at some point to check out the lay of the land.
There's part of me that really hopes you move to Woking, because I like the idea of you being near Tom, just because I don't know what that friendship would bring.
What do you mean?
Well, just the way you and Tom are.
Yeah.
If that was combined, I don't know what would come out of it.
I don't know what you possibly mean by that.
Nothing weird, just like I don't know what that resulting friendship would entail.
Well, we've already, like, manned the USS Enterprise quite successfully.
Yeah, exactly. So you've had interaction. I'm not saying you aren't friends. I'm just saying, like, a friendship where you live near each other, you'd be doing stuff with us, Liam.
Yeah. I don't know why this is, like, weird to you.
It just is, Liam. You're a weird guy. I think the listeners would agree.
I don't think they would. Anyway,
listeners, write in if you think Liam is weird. Anyway, Liam, fancy dinner party.
Carry on. So you had garlic bread and cheese for starter.
It was more than that. It had a fancy name, and it might not have been garlic bread. I don't remember.
Was there like a garnish?
Cheese.
No salad?
I don't eat salad anyway.
I know you don't, but like for everyone else who's an actual adult.
Not for the starter.
Okay, carry on.
You don't have salad with a starter always.
No, not always, but I mean, it would have gone nice with the garlic bread with cheese, is all I'm saying.
Well,
like, not a big salad, just a little teeny tiny, like, couple of leaves and shit.
You cook one fucking Christmas dinner and you think you're some sort of expert.
Yeah, carry on.
We had that, and then for the main we had beef.
Oh, beef's like, it's good, but it's a hard meat to get right, so that's a bold choice.
Or was it pork?
Right, well, there's a difference. Pork's quite a fatty meat, or it can be.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we had meat. For the main course, we had meat.
Vegetables? Like, obviously not you, but the adults.
I had some vegetables.
I imagine it's like a fancy meal. And you know, I don't know if you remember as a kid when you'd go out to eat with like your parents and they'd go out with a load of friends, there'd be like a kids' table.
Yeah.
I imagine them doing this fancy meal for their like friends, and then you have a little kids' table, and they've just got like they've cooked you like a special little meal of just fish fingers and tomato ketchup.
Are you saying that I do like the idea of them separating me out to a kids' table? To be fair, I didn't have ketchup, Liam. I was going to ask for it at one point, but I was like, I can't lower the fanciness of this meal.
It's just the fact that you considered it.
I have ketchup with everything. Mate.
I know,
I have ketchup
it's
with
a
Christmas
problem.
dinner. It's not. Ketchup's delicious.
What, with a roast dinner? Because that's essentially what you're saying it was.
Right, here's the thing, okay?
Yeah.
I have a quote. Let's fuck the fancy dinner. That's done. We've spoken about that.
No, we haven't.
Great.
We've got to
I had
get
a
to
wonderful
dessert
time,
yet.
Frankie. Good job, Tom and Frankie. Let's talk about ketchup, Liam. That's what the listeners want.
I hope that's not going to become the title of this episode.
Let's talk about ketchup.
Right, come on in.
It might be because that's
Inform
good.
me about ketchup.
Right. People have gravy with their meat, right?
Yeah.
Why? Why is that okay, but not ketchup?
I don't know.
Exactly. It's all society telling you that you can't have ketchup with your meat, Liam, and I refuse to be held down by the man.
Just in my mind, when I just imagine like dipping lamb in ketchup, like because I know what those two tastes are like separate, my mind then combines them and just goes, "Ugh, what are you doing?"
See, so that might be it, right? Because I don't like plain meat. Like, I like gammon. I don't really like...
Gammon's too salty for me.
That's ridiculous. It's delicious. I don't particularly like beef, lamb. What's the other one in that little group? Beef and lamb.
Venison?
There's another one. No.
I'm trying to think what's in a beef and lamb group. I'm guessing you're not including like chicken. Do chicken and turkey get their own group?
Yeah, they probably do get their own group, but it might have been chicken I was thinking about.
Pork?
Maybe we had chicken at the fancy meal. I genuinely don't know.
Wow, okay.
Bad times. Anyway, so, right, I don't like the taste of them. I don't mind chicken so much, but they're very plain, which is why people have gravy with them. I think we'd all agree.
Yeah, no, so it's not only that, but they can also be a bit dry, so the gravy gives you a bit of moisture.
Yeah, they can be dry, but I don't think they have a particularly nice taste. I don't, like, it's not that I hate it, I just don't like, I wouldn't choose that taste. I wouldn't be like, oh, here you go, you can either lick this delicious vanilla ice cream flavouring or beef flavouring.
Okay.
Right? I'd go for the ice cream because that's delicious.
Okay.
So, ketchup, I love the
flavouring
taste
of
ketchup.
what? Just like...
Yeah, what does beef taste like? That flavour, whatever beef tastes like.
Yeah, but you're saying like flavouring, like you can have a lick of this flavouring. Do you just mean like a lick of beef?
That's because I realised if I said, would you like to lick this ice cream or this slab of beef, everyone would go ice cream and it wasn't a fair comparison. Right. To be honest, I shouldn't have gone ice cream, Liam.
Okay, right.
The point's being derailed. Ketchup, I have the ketchup with the meat because I like the taste of ketchup. So to me, the conflicting flavour isn't an issue because I already don't care about that flavour. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, do you even go like another level? Is it that you don't particularly like the flavour of the meat, so you just have the ketchup to mask it?
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Or not mask it, no. As a kid, I probably would have done that. Yeah. But now I just have it on there, so there's
now you've thought of whole reasons to justify this ludicrous
Yeah, exactly.
behaviour.
Now I lied to myself.
Right, okay. Have we sufficiently covered ketchup as a topic now?
I think so.
I still think you're wrong. It's absolutely bonkers.
That's fine. You can think I'm wrong because I know that there's a lot of people out there who love ketchup as much as me, and they're afraid, Liam. They sit down at family dinners and they sit there and their mum says, do you want some gravy on that? And they say, oh yeah, I guess I'll have gravy. And the mum says, why did you say it like that? And they go, nothing, mum, just give me the gravy. And inside, Liam, they're screaming for ketchup. And I will happily be their front man.
This has actually happened to you, hasn't it? It sounds a little bit too real.
Moving on.
So, wait, can we just backtrack a little bit? So, you was a big boy and you didn't ask for ketchup at the fancy meal.
Yeah.
Did you have gravy?
I don't remember. Maybe? No, we might not have had gravy.
What was for dessert?
What were we eating? Liam, why can't I remember what I ate?
I don't know. What was for dessert? Can you remember that?
Yeah, it was chocolate brownie.
I'm out. I couldn't have been there.
It was like, a gluten-free chocolate brownie and like lactose-free. Maybe not gluten-free, lactose-free.
I still can't eat chocolate, can I?
Have you ever had lactose-free chocolate?
No, I'm not going to start.
So you don't know?
I'm not doing chocolate.
Your reason for not... We've covered it on the podcast before. Listeners, if you want to know why Liam doesn't eat chocolate, go listen to our entire back catalogue and find that episode, because it's insane.
If we was, like, smart, we'd have all of our topics with the episodes next to them covered in, like, a nice chart that you could just look at and be like, listen to episode 23.
You say we and be smart. Mine would just be list of all the times you've said something weird.
Yeah, true.
Anyway, what did you do,
Liam? Okay. So last weekend... It was London Film and Comic Con.
Yep.
Now we didn't actually go to that. We went to a talk afterwards, which was at the venue, but you didn't need like the London Film and Comic Con tickets to get into it.
Yeah,
we went to
after show sort of thing.
Yeah, we went to a live podcast recording, the Smodcast with Kevin Smith and Scott Mosier.
Oh, cool.
So Kevin Smith, if you don't know, is a director who's directed like Clerks.
Were you saying that to me or to the listeners?
Listener, because I'm aware you're aware of him.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, so to listeners who aren't aware who Kevin Smith is, director who's directed Clerks, Chase and Amy, Mallrats, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. He's the Silent Bob part of that duo. Tusk, Jersey Girl.
I mean, you don't need to list all his films.
Yoga Hosers did it.
Okay.
I probably missed
How was
one.
it?
It was really good. It was so good.
What was it like seeing a professional person do the job that we're trying to do?
Honestly, it wasn't that dissimilar to what we do because... So Scott Mosier is currently over in France working on a film and they haven't seen each other for a fair few weeks. So it was literally just them being like catching up with each other. Like, what have you been up to? What's it like being in France? It's like what we do if we had more interesting lives. So when we were talking about the catching up with stuff...
Yeah.
It was actually interesting stuff. Like, it wasn't like a fancy meal. It was like, no, I was in an entirely different country immersing myself in a culture.
Yeah, so if our catching up with wasn't a 5-minute discussion about the merits of ketchup.
Yeah. So imagine you'd gone to like, I don't know, Sweden to live, and I'd been busy making a movie, and then we were catching up on discussing like me being like, oh yeah, so I worked with, I don't know, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, for example.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was really good. And one of the things I like about listening to Kevin Smith is how like motivational he is, because he's very much like of the opinion, especially nowadays, that like the technology is available to people. If you want to create stuff and put it out there, it's so easy to do that nowadays, as we're proving on a bi-weekly basis.
Yep, that's true.
So yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was really good. It was their 10th anniversary, so there was a lot of like emotion between the two of them, where they just talked about kind of, imagine us doing this for 10 years, you know, and actually sticking
I don't
with
think
it.
we'd have an emotional episode.
I don't know. No, okay. Imagine.
I feel like I'd try, and then I'd fall into the same trap that I always fall into.
All right. Imagine, Jack, that this actually became something, right? That we could be proud of.
I'm proud of it.
Okay. And then, like, imagine in 10 years' time, us being like, oh, the lives we're living now are partly because of this thing that we started 10 years ago. I think it would be a bit emotional.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. It was really good, though. I really enjoyed it. If anyone ever gets a chance, like, go and listen to his podcast just because it's cool. But if you ever get a chance to actually go and see him do a talk or whatever, I would recommend that.
Fair enough.
And then, so, me and Kat, my other half, my girlfriend of 7 years, for a while now, we've been kicking around this idea of doing, like... She's been a guest on this show, by the way.
Oh, has she?
Yeah, a couple of times. We've been kicking around this idea of doing, like, a podcast together, because she wants... I think she looks at what we do, and she probably thinks to herself, I can do better than that.
I mean, yeah, it's a fair assumption to make.
Yeah, no, I think she just wanted, like, I think she's just fascinated by this whole, like, weird podcasting thing that I do, and she wants to kind of get involved a little bit.
Yeah.
So we're doing like a couples podcast. Well, we're doing like a video cast because we've filmed it. We don't really know what it's about yet.
Okay, see, that was the first question I was going to ask you, is what is it about?
So it's called Won't Grow Up podcast.
Yep.
And I think our like pitch is essentially, we're not your like average couple.
No.
In that, like, we don't really want kids. We don't really want to get married. We don't have the same sort of like life ambitions as a lot of other couples seem to have.
Yep.
So we're hoping to provide a, you know, whimsical outlook on what it's like, essentially dating me, if we're going to be honest, because I imagine that's going to be the issue most of the time.
Yeah, that's what I was sort of hoping for.
I don't know. So the first episode was just us trying to come up with the name, which we successfully did. It's called Won't Grow Up. But
Is that so? Just a quick question then, Liam.
yeah.
Does that sort of ruin that episode in that you start listening and you're like, well, they're trying to pick a name, but I know what the name is?
This is a thing that I did raise on the episode itself about 20 minutes in.
Cool.
The penny dropped and I kind of realised.
Yeah, everyone's going to know what the name is.
Yeah.
No, that's. I was just kidding. That's still interesting.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Don't say it's interesting until you've seen the first episode. That's my advice.
It's so funny, guys. Guys, listeners, it's so funny.
Yeah, thanks. If we ever get around to setting up a network, this could be part of it.
Yeah.
So...
Oh, sorry. Were you saying that as a sweeping statement as only half of the runner of this hypothetical network?
Yeah.
How dare you?
What do you mean?
You need my approval.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, but right. Wait, what?
You said it can be part of it. How dare you?
Could it not?
No.
Okay, I'll let Kat know. She'll be heartbroken.
No, I'm kidding. Of course it would be part of the network, Liam.
Oh... Alright, so this annoyed me the other day, Jack. So I was driving the other day with Kat, and I've realised what my least favourite... Like, besides other cars and other motorists and, like, general traffic, my least favourite part of driving is the traffic lights.
Okay, why?
They're so fucking arrogant. Just, honestly, they're so full of themselves. Like, oh, look at me. I can stop you without even touching you. I just have to show some red. And it just does my nut in that they have this, like, control that has clearly gone to their heads. And then... Right, so what's even worse than this is there's certain traffic lights, like when I drive back to my parents, there's a big roundabout with these traffic lights that are like, I guess, I don't know, smart traffic lights or have like a sensor or something where if the road is empty and you're driving up, say it's a red, it'll kind of be like, oh, it's empty, so it'll just automatically flash to green for you.
Yeah.
It honestly does my nut in.
Sorry, that annoys you more.
Yeah.
Why?
They just think they're so fucking clever. Oh yeah, look at me just predicting the traffic. I don't like it.
You're insane is the problem.
No, honestly, they do my nut in.
Sorry, don't fucking say no honestly at the end of a story about how you think traffic lights are sentient.
Not sentient, just fucking
You're
arrogant.
applying arrogance to them.
Do you not see that?
No, because they're not people.
I don't like them, Jack.
Inanimate objects can't be arrogant.
Have a look at a traffic light.
I have.
So you don't think that it's kind of like being a bit show-offy when it sees you coming? It's like, oh,
No.
come on, I'll let you through.
No, I think that's good. I'm like, oh, good, you're not one of those traffic lights that just stays red.
It's good in like, I get where I need to go quicker, but I just don't think you should give it that much control. It can't handle it.
I'd also like to point out, just quickly going back to the start of this, you said your least favourite part of driving except, sorry, what was it? Other cars, people,
and motorists,
motorbikes, and then traffic.
No, not
was the other thing.
motorbikes, just motorists.
Oh, sorry, motorists.
Yeah.
So cars, motorists,
Yeah.
and then I believe you said traffic as well.
Yeah.
So other than those three pretty major things in driving, this is your least favourite.
Yeah, the traffic lights.
Cool, got you.
Sick of them. Honestly.
I'm so glad.
Honestly.